Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Parry. I'm sure you know that. I'm one of the co-presidents of Improv at Trent.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm nothing now. I'm just a lowly member.
What are you gonna do?
I know. I'm so excited though.
I
I'm
know.
gonna just cause. I'm gonna wreak havoc on Ian's workshops, and I'm gonna heckle and be bad.
Let's just bring tomatoes to his workshops, like the show we've always talked about doing. um. All right. Uh, welcome to the Provcast. Sorry for how awkward it is. I'm at the Nick's face is massive right now, and I'm teeny tiny, kind of at the bottom. I don't know how to change that. And excuse how kind of rough it is. This is my first time using a software called OBS. If anybody knows how it works and how to make these Discord calls look nicer, please shoot me a message.
I
Um,
think I have OBS, and it makes me poop a lot. Sorry. The first joke was a bomb. Whoopsie.
the first ever improv joke on the podcast is a poop joke. I mean, I feel like that's rather fitting for who we are as a club. Um, yeah.
Or
So,
in my screen, you're the tiny one, or I
oh,
mean, I'm the tiny one.
you're the tiny.
I
Yeah,
don't know
for
how
me
to
it's the
change that
revert.
with
Like
Discord.
I'm the little one, and this is what the people will be seeing. So for me, it's like I'm a little one, and then next to me as the little one, like over here, there's a picture of your like Discord profile with the camera, and then above me, there's like what would be essentially like five of my little boxes stacked on top of each other, and that's you.
And right now, your camera just cut out too, but I'm hoping on your end with the recording, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean we'll find out when I'm editing this.
I can just gaze lovingly into your profile picture too, so I don't mind on my end.
That's fine.
Um,
Yeah.
Also, Be Real just went off, so you're missing out on that. Now, everybody's gonna think we're such fakers.
Should we? No, I'm gonna take it on the podcast. Yeah, sort of. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna keep in the episode, or how much of it's gonna get cut. Um, yeah. Anyways, improv people. I've never done podcasting before. I don't know. Nick, have you done?
Not really.
So you're looking at two people doing their first time with something like this. So again, excuse the quality. When we start recording in September, things will be way better because we'll be in person. So it won't be little me and big Nick. It'll just be regular Nick and regular Thomas sitting next to each other. Um, I tried. So I'm sure many of you saw in the Discord today, I posted two very short videos. I originally had 2 minute long video, but Discord said that was too big. And in it, I was saying how there's potentially going to be some guests in the future, some improv
Mm.
guests. So keep your eye out for that in September. With that all being said, again, thank you for listening. Oh, my lights are falling. Thank you for listening to this. Me and Nick ramble for about the next 30, 40 minutes. Some of you asked us questions, we're going to be answering those. But me and Nick, before filming this, we kind of thought we should let you guys get to know us better if you're just going to hear us yap for once a week, once every other week. So I asked Nick earlier today if he wanted to grab a picture or two or a few of some improv memories that he has. I'm just going to be pulling them up on my phone, but the viewers at home, they should be appearing on the screen right kind of on the right end somewhere there or the left. They'll be somewhere on screen. So Nick, if you want to talk about just the first one you sent me there, do we want to start with that one?
Yes. Is that the Ian one?
Yeah, we can do the Ian one. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so well, both my pictures are from the same show,
Hmm.
the extended cut fantasy show. And the picture where I'm caressing Ian's head is that was one of my favorite moments from the show. Um, Me and Austin were sneaking in. Well, our characters were sneaking in to the royal bedroom to steal the crown from the king, and I had to Indiana Jones style sneak the crown from Ian's head. And I don't know. I just love it. Kind of points to like one of the things I love about improv, just how ridiculous and absurd the
Oh
the
yeah.
justifications for what you're doing can be. Um, because in that world, it makes total sense that like all I have to do, of course, to get the crown is just to like lift up his head
Hmm.
and rip it from him. But that would be so impossible in real life. But yeah, um, no, I just love that show.
Yeah,
I have
fond
the
memories.
pictures up actually like, up on my wall from that show.
Yeah,
It was a very good memory.
it was. Yeah, long way leading up to that show. I remember that, but we got it together in the end there.
That was the funny thing with the whole long form thing, and what I'm really excited for next year is that like
Mhm.
now that we have it under our belt, like because none of us knew what we were doing, and like the first practice we ever did for long form was just we like discussed it for so long what we were gonna do,
Mhm.
and we were all so scared to like try it for the first time, even though it was just like a practice with
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
10 of
yeah,
us.
yeah.
But we ended up doing
It was
like
the
a 20-minute
deer.
scene.
Yeah. No, I remember that. Like, yeah, we did a sketch with a deer hunter, and then there was also a furry convention happening. Yeah, it was a whole. Yeah, that's like one of the practices I like fully remember, because that was, I don't know, like doing improv before. When I was doing scenes, I wasn't my character. I always felt like me as a character in this scene. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm acting right now." But that first time doing long form, I became that character, if that makes sense. Like
Mm.
I wasn't acting anymore. It was just like my Thomas was gone for 20 minutes and whoever my character was, like that's I don't
Well,
know.
you're so invested in it. Like
Yeah.
after when we started getting kind of like better at it and doing longer scenes and practices, it's funny because you do like when it's so hard to like with a workshop or with like a short form um scene like to remember like a lot of them because
Hmm.
there's so many and they're so short and fast. But like if you start talking about the long form scenes we were doing, like even in practice, like you can kind of like start remembering it because you've invested now like
Hmm.
40 minutes of your life like building a character and stories and like relationships, and it's really funny. um
Yeah.
Especially when like there's a character you like took a chance on or something, or like a
Yeah.
funny like voice or something, and then you're like you miss it kind of thing. You're like, oh, that was so good, but since it's long form and I did it for so long, I can't really pull it back out and like reuse it.
Like that to me that was like this is like me and Nick now talking about long form, but there was this character Gibbous that Ian did at I think like probably our third or fourth practice, and it was a
Yeah,
scene.
it was our first like try at like a full like narrative, like really actually like
Hmm.
long scene. And yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, it was like about space people and like people like astronauts. I shouldn't say space people. It was about astronauts, and they went to go find this new planet. I forget a lot of the plot, but the first character they met on this planet was this slug creature named Gibbous, played by Ian. And if you ask Ian about Gibbous, he will ask you to kick him. That's all I can say about Gibbous. It's yeah. If anybody on long form, Gibbous has a very special place in all of our hearts. And I feel
Mhm.
like we just excluded 90% of the audience
Well, who knows? Gibbous might make an appearance, sometime.
I
And
really hope so.
yeah, I hope so too. I miss him. But but yeah, no, that show was good. And then the second picture is again the same show, but just because you played this bounty hunter, and so this is like behind the scenes long form. So what we do basically is um, we like have a basic idea of like the skeleton of the basically like the formula
Mm-hmm.
of how we want the show to go. So with the dating game, we knew that there was going to be 3 or 4 rounds of questions with commercial breaks in between. We knew who was going to be the host and the bachelor and the 3 contestants. And that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, sorry, maybe that there was going to be a reunion at the end. And
Yeah.
then for the fantasy show, we knew that there was going to be a narrator and the protagonist and an antagonist and like a couple other things, but we knew nothing. So at the start, we start the show and a quick little huddle. Um, and that's when we're like just pumping out ideas, talking to like
Yeah.
get each other on the same page. And then um, at the intermission, we have another huddle, and that's like a quick little like how to make sure that we are able to actually like tell it like a good end to the story. So in that huddle, we're basically like, what things do we want to like latch onto, and which like bows do we want to tie?
Mm-hmm.
What things do we really want to hit on before we end the show? Like, what do we have time for? And then, anyway, this is all leading up to the idea that we had in the huddle for the intermission was that this like scary bounty hunter character sent from the king that I stole his crown was going to like be like this awesome character, and then Thomas comes out with this hat and this little like plastic bow and arrow, and it was the funniest like most like useless bounty hunter character in the
Yeah.
world,
I think
but it made it so good.
I think the bow and arrow was just a slingshot with pebbles. Like I don't even think it was an actual weapon.
And whoever was taking the pictures got it at the perfect time when I'm like patting his shoulder or something. I can't. I'm not looking at the picture right now, but and your hat is like falling off. It's so funny just to show how useless that bounty hunter was.
Yeah,
But
that yeah, because I
no, one of
remember
my favorite moments.
that whole character came about because the whole show I was like, I haven't been in it. Can I please have a character? Like, because I was so nervous with it, and I really shouldn't have because pretty well everybody in the audience has been to an improv show before, so it wasn't like it was 85 new faces where I'm like, ooh, they've never seen me do this before. Um, and that's one thing I feel like we've all gotten with improv is getting nervous of performing in front of the same faces, but I was like, please, 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 can I just do a dumb bounty hunter character or something that would like fit? And Everett was like, yeah, go for it. And then I forget what prompt I got for it, but I was like, okay, I can work with this. And then yeah,
No, it's great. But yeah, those are my pictures, my little memories. I think yeah, I kind of pulled from extended cut, but next time if we do something like the pictures again,
hmm
I'll um I'll definitely want to talk more to like workshops and my time with short form. I think
hmm
extended cut was kind of like this last little project that I did in my role of like um in improv that I was like really kind of nervous for and totally like because I'd done workshops and short form so many times that I was like kind of more feeling like comfortable with it and
yeah,
it was fun to do something that I was so nervous for. But
hmm
but yeah, next time I'll definitely
yeah.
bring some more of a variety of pictures.
Well, Nick, if it makes you feel any better, um, both of my pictures are in the same vein. They're both from the same show. Me and Nick did not collaborate on this. I just told Nick, hey, pull up a few pictures. I just grabbed two from one of the shows I did because it that show meant a lot to me. And if you know what show I'm talking about, it was the variety show I did back in March. So the first picture I have is me kind of standing at this podium. You'll see the picture now, right there. Nick, I don't know if you have it pulled up or not.
I do. I'm also Sorry, I'm trying to find myself back to the video call, but
um, yeah, so there's a picture of me at a podium, and that picture was right after I walked in during that introduction because we had the video going. And if you didn't go to the show, we cold opened the show with a video playing. There was no like welcome to the show. It was just lights went out, video on the screen, and we went to the zoo and we did all that stuff. And it ends with me at the doors of One Jack being like, "Oh man, the show's about to start." And then I timed it perfectly because that's what I do. But I timed it so as I was opening the doors in the video, I opened the doors for real life in the show, and then I ran down the stairs. And when I'm standing at this podium here, that's right as I did it, and I saw the audience for the first time, and I got so nervous for the whole show, because even though we had rehearsed it one whole time beforehand, and half the sketches were pre-recorded, it was so nerve-wracking to be up there just in front of all these faces because it was the show I've been wanting to do since I was really, really, really young. If you know me, I've been writing sketch comedy since like grade 8 and grade 9. Um, I've also am working on my own side sketch project. Nick, you know about this, unrelated to improv. So keep your ears out for that. I'll probably announce it soon. But sketch comedy has always meant a lot to me, and improv and sketch comedy are siblings, if that, like, you know what I mean, right? Like,
hmm
they're very
Sorry,
similar.
I'm. I just have to leave really quick and pop right back in just so I can get back in the video.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna keep talking about my picture while you're gone.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm big now. Yeah, so to me that meant so much to see community. I think I can still be heard. I hope I can still be heard. Anyways, if I can't be, this whole part's gonna be cut. Anyways, yeah, it meant a lot to me to see the turnout to that show. And it really reminds me. Oh, hello, welcome back, Nick. I have no idea if I could have like. Oh, you're still loading in. All right, you're back. Cool.
Sorry.
Um, I have no clue if I could be heard during that section, but I was just saying how seeing all those faces there reminded me of how supportive of a community we have around us.
Mm,
And even just with you guys listening at home, the support is always there, and that's what that picture kind of reminds me of. So there's a bit of sentiment there. The next picture I have, however, um, is a character you've seen me do many times, and that's the smoking toddler. Um, this character, if you've been to workshops with me, you've probably seen this character. If you haven't, there's that. There's that. If you haven't seen this character, it's pretty much just I fucking hate my teachers. I'm a toddler who smokes. It's a really dumb character. But that character is the first character I did during my auditions during first year. That was like my own character. There was no prompt. That was like the first one where it's like just do it on your own. And yeah. So when the opportunity arose to kind of immortalize the character in a sketch, I took it because that character got me to where I am right now. That character's
That's.
thing.
I love smoking toddler, and it's really funny because yeah, like I remember you doing that in auditions, and that was kind of like you could have not done well in any other scene after that and still gotten in. Because I I remember I think I did a character at a show once. Um, like I don't know if it was I guess yeah, like in the first year. And it was kind of similar, but it was more like hello mother, I require some milk now. And it was kind of like a similar sort of vibe, but the smoking toddler just like the crudeness of like the and just like the rough voice and the it was so funny. And yeah, that was it never every time it came back, I was always happy to see the smoking
Yes.
toddler. And
Um, yeah, I've tried to retire the character, but I can't. I just can't.
um, but yeah, about the sketch show, I just found it so cool. One just like similar to the long form thing and every it's so fun to experiment and like try something new
Hmm.
and kind of recognize that there are so many different like paths we can take with this very general like community of improv
Yeah.
and yeah, like the things we can explore and um like everybody has such a wide variety of interests and it's
Hmm.
cool that regardless of like who and what their interests are and like as long as they kind of take the chance and give it a try, like the community is so there to support them. And
100%.
yeah, that was really cool. I was really like um, you kind of did so much with the sketch show.
Hmm.
um, I was kind of like one of your kind of henchmen, like
Yeah.
behind the scenes ish. Like I thought of like one or two of the sketches that were in
Hmm.
the show, like did some of the like helped do some of the writing and like
Hmm.
um it was really cool being a part, even in like my small little part in it,
Yeah.
but just seeing how um yeah, like I had no idea how what the finished product was gonna look like
No.
and how it was gonna show up. And I was like super nervous for it. I had no
Hmm.
idea. And then the fact that it went so well, I was so it's just amazing when that kind of thing happens.
Yeah. Like even I was hinting at it. I'm fully just writing my own sketch show now. Um, and even when I've been writing that over the past few days, and when I'm writing sketches, you have such a clear vision of what it looks like in your head, but the second you start recording it, everything goes out the window, and you have to be able to change so much stuff. Like we ended up changing the smoking toddler sketch so much. Originally, that sketch was going to be pre-recorded, and when I was watching it back I was like, this is horrible. Like I can't show this. Like I was sitting there watching, I'm like, this is just not funny. um and that's one thing in comedy that I suggest everybody to really learn, is to accept that you're not going to be funny all the time.
Mm.
That's one of my big, this is for a lot of us already have that ability. If you're new coming into improv or you've just started it, really accept the fact that you are gonna bomb. Um, it's how you learn how to deal with bombing that's important. Um, for me, that's just scrapping the whole thing and starting fresh for the sketch. But when you're bombing live on stage, and this is fully unrelated, this is me just giving advice to people about improv. If when you're bombing on stage, just keep going. Don't keep saying the same joke because it's not gonna work if it doesn't work the first time. But just if you're in a scene and say, for the scene's sake, you're recording a podcast, and in that podcast you make a joke and it bombs, you just keep going on with the scene. The audience will remember the high highs. They won't remember the low lows. And that's kind of something that's really helped me in improv, is you are always going to be the most critical of your work on stage because you see everything that you do. When the audience is watching, their eyes aren't on you all the time. There's four or five other people on stage. So it's important to remember that if you mess up one joke, people aren't going to see you at workshop, see you at the next show, and be like, that guy messed up one joke last show. So just take
Mm.
it in stride. And I don't, it's fully unrelated, but
Yeah, I like that. I think I would say there's like some a scenario that popped into my head when maybe even if it bombs, you should keep going is if you've like committed to a really
yeah.
big character or something. Like let's say, I don't know, you're a super loud and drunk and crazy pirate or something,
Hmm.
and the audience doesn't seem to be liking it. I've seen sometimes that the audience will laugh and start to like something just out of sheer respect that you've committed to your own like downfall
Yep.
of just being like this not likable. So in the in the sketch show, this kind of happened. I in the spaghetti like date scene,
I love
the
that
whole
sketch.
joke was that I was like this just like maniac and like this horrible person, but also like this just crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was devouring like heaps of spaghetti and like spilling sauce all over myself and like acting like a real like jerk. And but I committed very hard to like just being as mean and as stupid and bad as I could. And I think the audience didn't laugh much because I think they were like seeing me as like actually like a horrible person. But I was like, that's exactly what I want.
Yes.
Like because like the way that that scene worked is like afterwards we went on the podcast and then it was like all three of us were like the same kind of person and then like
Yeah.
um yeah, just like feeding off of each other. But I think that one hit a bit better because I think by then the audience was getting like, oh, okay, like they're the commitment to like this villain is strong enough
Yeah.
to like earn my laugh.
That sketch was hard to do. It was so. I remember watching it from the wings, and I was laughing because I had seen it in rehearsal, but in the rehearsal, we didn't have the spaghetti and the sauce, which for you viewers at home, it was cold. We cooked the spaghetti by putting it in like lukewarm plastic bags, like Ziploc bags, and we just stuck the spaghetti in there, and we just opened the sauce had been sitting in my backpack through the bus and just chilling in one jack. So by the time it was opened, it was cold. It was the start of March. So when I was watching this, the audience, as far as they're aware, they believe it to be cooked because it's being served to him fresh. So they're just watching a man grossly eat a normal temperature of spaghetti. But what we're watching from the wings is Nick devouring cold spaghetti, just getting it
So
everywhere.
gross. Sauce right from the can, just uncooked on anything. And afterwards, like I could not get the essence of just like sauce and
Sauce.
spaghetti like
Oh,
out of my being, and it had like latched onto my soul, and yeah, and it was funny because it was one of the first sketches I think in the
I
show.
remember.
It
Yeah,
lasted the whole
it was right.
time.
I think we put it right before intermission, and I feel like we should have closed.
Yeah.
Like looking back at it, we should have closed with that sketch and not open with it.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
no, those were good times, good improv memories.
Oh man, so many years ago now, like back in March. Yeah. Um, should we get to answering some questions?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had some good ones.
We do. Sorry, it's been about 30 minutes, so I'm just checking the time. So, our first question is from Liam. Liam, if you don't know who Liam is a regular at our workshops. We love Liam. Liam is also, I believe, pretty big into the Minecraft server right now. So, if you're in the
I
Minecraft
think
server,
so.
you know who Liam is. So, Liam asks, one question I'm curious about with improv is understanding how to identify and perform a supporting role. While this is more relevant to larger scenes, I'm curious to see what you think about what you can do to help elevate a scene through a non speaking role. For example, acting out objects within a scene, like a kitchen counter or a vacuum cleaner. That's a really good question,
Thanks,
though.
Liam.
Thank you. So Nick, do you want to take a? I'll let you take a stab at that one.
Sure. Yeah, good question. In workshops, like it's definitely something we talk about a lot is like the importance of supporting roles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they can, you know, have a lot of different uses, take a lot of different forms. Even like sometimes a neutral character can be, even if they have like a larger role in the scene, they're a supporting role in the sense that they're supporting like the humor of the scene. Because if they're not necessarily the funny character of the scene, they're them being there is kind of like supporting the characters that are being very funny, and the funniness of those characters would not be anywhere near what it can be without that character supporting. Um, but yeah, I think like generally just the supporting characters can like. we've had characters that pop in for, like 2 seconds and just kind of like their purpose in the scene is just one quick thing with like the main character or something, and and they're out right away. But a lot of the times the supporting characters, what they're doing, and this leads into when they're playing like inanimate objects too, is just making the world seem so much more real and
Hmm.
alive and believable. Um, a big thing that we try to do is like have the audience suspend their disbelief. And with improv, like in a play, obviously you have props and you have a whole set. And like with stand up, there's the a lot of the times the comedians, they're kind of acting as themselves and you're kind of like believing their point of view on the world. But with improv, it's it's the uh, you have nothing of both worlds because it's like a play where you're playing a character, but you can't rely on like the audience like believe it and following like who you are and
Hmm.
stuff, buying into who you are. It's all made up, but then you don't have any of like the help of like props and setting and stuff. So having those supporting characters either playing like very small roles
Hmm.
or those like they're playing a tree or they're a um, tumbleweed. Is that the word? Like in
Yeah.
a western, like things like that can just make the world seem so
Hmm.
alive.
Yeah, like I for a dating game in workshop one time, I think it was Brooklyn, my character was just somebody who had four arms, and Brooklyn just played my two other arms. And just by doing that small thing, it makes that character. I think it was Brooklyn, anyways. I kind of forget who it is, but I'm pretty sure it's Brooklyn.
Sounds like a Brooklyn move.
Sound yeah. If I'm wrong, please shoot me a message, and I will correct myself in the next episode. But them just playing my extra arms really just helped that scene feel more alive. And I've seen people play chairs, and it's funny because a person's not a chair. And like I don't there's
Did you just
not
get the thumbs
yeah.
up?
Does it do it again?
That's funny. A person's not a chair, and it happened
I get
right.
I'm Apple proves me wrong, I guess. I guess a person yeah. But it's funny because like a person they're not a chair, so it's funny. Um I've even seen somebody play a blender, and that's really funny. Um so playing like don't be afraid to just be an inanimate object. Be a tree, be whatever.
Hmm.
Like the big thing with improv is taking risks, and your risks don't have to be being the main character. Those risks can be I'm going to take a risk and play a supporting character and try to help move the scene along, or I'm going to take a risk and play, like Liam said in the question, a kitchen counter and see what happens there.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it goes back to like again that thing I was saying with like the commitment.
Hmm.
Like the audience sees and notices and appreciates like the commitment when they see it happen. And that's definitely like if you're stuck there as a tree for like a full 4 minute scene and the scene's just happening around you, like you are your own kind of like source of humor for like any audience whose eyes wander away from like what the focus is on the stage. Every time they see you just being a tree, that's like a little like snap of like, oh, I'm interested in the scene. Like um you're kind of just like padding like the entertainment value
Hmm.
of it in such like a helpful and good way. And no, yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
and
a very helpful
yeah,
thing.
and to bounce off just being a tree, excuse me, I just ate dinner before doing this podcast. Um, but if you're, say, playing a tree, the actors around you are probably just gonna just implement you many
Mm,
ways into just using
very
that
true.
object. So if you, yeah, just take a risk, play a tree, see what
if
happens.
if everyone doesn't play trees every single scene at improv next year, we're gonna be deeply disappointed.
If you guys don't have this episode memorized, that's a lie. Every single episode we have memorized, and you don't memorize all the demands we make, you got a world of trouble coming, Buster.
We
But
have our list of commandments. Thou shalt play tree.
yeah, we yeah, we invite other universities up, and we're like, okay, it's our turn to go on stage, and we're just so like, and scene.
That'd be good.
That would actually be really funny. Just 4 minutes of people silently being trees.
Just like staring at the audience members, like
Just,
unbreaking eye contact.
you can laugh.
But
uh, yeah, but thank you for
good
the
question, Liam.
yes, thank you for the question. That was really good. So for our next question, we have two questions from our friend
Oh,
Emmett. Emmett, if you don't, I'm gonna give like people little introductions, just so the community knows who's asking. Emmett was a member of my improv team this year under Improvement. It was their first year at Trent, first year with improv. They were also a part of the variety show I did that me and Nick were talking about a few minutes ago.
they
So
actually were the third
yes,
podcast member in that spaghetti scene.
they were. Everything ties back. um, so we have the first question we have from Emmett is if you had a ridiculous amount of money and a ridiculous amount of time, how would you upgrade improv at Trent? Do you want me to tackle this one first?
Yeah, go ahead. Anytime
Um,
to think so I can improvise.
if I had an insane amount of money, I would probably build us our own theater so I don't have to worry about booking one jack. Um,
Mm.
Shout out to team leads. Booking any room is a pain in the ass. Um, so if we had our own theater, that would be awesome. That way we also don't have to worry about workshop rooms changing every other week and ooh, all that. I would also, and this is something me and Nick have talked about since my first year, so pretty well 2 years now, buying a mascot costume for improv at Trent. I think that would be so funny. Me and Nick, back at so 2 years back in my first year at with improv and at the university, me and Nick found a website with mascot costumes for sale. Um,
Mm.
so if anybody has mascot ideas,
They're actually not that bad. It's an investment, but it's a funny investment.
we have the money. I think I don't do the money stuff.
Um, you got me thinking. I think what I would do if I had an insane amount of money, um, I would just buy Trent. I would just go to
Yeah,
Leo Gork, shake his hand, and say, "Mine now."
and
And
would you take his shoe collection too or no?
yeah, I would rip his shoes off. I would embroider the improv logo on them, and and then I would, yeah, name it like Improv University, I guess. I was gonna say Improv at Trent, but that wouldn't work. Um,
Improv is the new
Improv,
Trent.
yeah. Um, but yeah, and then just make it a university um, where it's all improv and theater stuff. Maybe some of the other arts can have a little piece of the pie, but man, improv gets them the
Number
biggest
one.
slice. But I don't know what I would actually do. I think just like we've talked about the different things we could like what we mentioned, all the different like interests people
Mm-hmm.
have. I think getting things like really good cameras and mics and like things
Yeah.
for filmmaking and stuff like that's really cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, it's a shame that a lot of art requires a lot of materials that require money, but
Yeah, but like
it's
even because we are toying with getting a camera for shows, but it would be cool even if we got to the point where we could lease it out for
mm,
filmmakers and stuff. So Improv at Trent would become kind of a hub for the arts. Obviously based in improv, but open to how do we include other art forms into improv and how do they all mingle?
mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think nice thing about improv is it doesn't cost too much, but yeah, trying out these like different new things, it would be really cool to, yeah.
And then Emmett's second question is how many times a month Should an improver be showering?
Um, I shower kind of an annoying amount. I
That's
just
fair.
like I don't know what it is, but I hate feeling like nasty. So maybe like 90 times a month.
That's fair. That's
And also
3 times a
sometimes no
day.
jump. It can get like you know, shoes are off, socks are out, making sure those feet are clean.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think the more the merrier.
Um, I have the opposite stance. I feel like an improver. I feel like a month is too short of a time frame. I think we should be looking at it by a yearly basis, if not at least half a decade. So I think every a shower, I want to say every year to 2 years, I feel like is plenty. I'm
Mm,
currently trying to be as medieval as possible. So just once a month, I'll maybe have um, a wash up in the lake.
yeah,
I smell.
just scrape your body with leaves.
Yeah, no, just hands. I move the oil around. Yeah, people avoid me when I'm in line, so lineups are a real breeze. So
That's true. And yeah, I think like some bugs and stuff are attracted to like shampoos and stuff, so
yeah,
that's good.
it's an all natural musk. Um, I don't really like to use the word musk. I prefer um, natural scent is what I prefer. Yeah, and there's a lot of great benefits. Like, for me, I know I'm not always the most social person. I say this as I'm recording a podcast, but I'm not always the most social person. So, with my new natural odor, people really avoid me. So it's really helping me, just kind of stick to my own lane and stuff. It's quite nice. But for
Mm,
real, shower like once a day, once every other day. Like, yeah,
yeah. Or yeah, I think at least just like the cat shower.
yeah,
Just lick yourself a bit and
yeah.
that'll do the trick probably.
Go or get a cat to do it for you. It's a little easier.
Yeah. But a new cat every day or else their tongue will get gross. So
Yeah,
you have to
I've given the animal shelter a lot of money.
Cool. Thanks, Emmett.
Thank you, Emmett. So we have two more questions. We're gonna do Ty. Ty, if you don't know who Ty is a regular at our workshops. He was also a part of the improv team Funky Scene Society. He is known for his orange toque.
Hmm.
So if you see an orange toque, that means Ty's probably kicking around somewhere. Ty
He also
asks,
is responsible for getting all of the comedy members pied.
yes,
Very very heroic move on his part
it's
and
Mr.
yeah.
Moneybags Ty. So Ty has three questions for us today. Ty asks, "What are your top three improv games?"
Wow. Three of them.
Three's a lot. I
Mm,
can think of two.
um okay, what are yours?
Oh God, I was hoping I went. So my favorite ever is Park Bench, hands down Park Bench. Um, I'm a big Goon River fan for number two.
Hmm.
Um, that one I just like because, and same for Park Bench. You can just do your own thing. If you've met me, I like playing weird characters. I play a lot of weird characters, so that is just an outlet for me to do stupid stuff. Also, like 80% of my sketches that I've written in recent years have come from Goon River or Park Bench characters. Um, for game number three, though, that's like it's hard to get three because there's a lot I enjoy, and I haven't done improv now since April. So, and I haven't like we haven't done workshops since March, I think. So trying to
Hmm.
think of the games is
Um, I will. I can say a couple while you think. My
please.
I think I'd have to do my top is Goon River. I know it's not always everyone's favorite, but I think it's important to play those like sceney games, and
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you're coming up with you know, you're working on monologue skills and stuff, but you're coming up with your own character is always fun. That's why I like games like Taxi 2 and stuff,
Oh
because
yeah.
it is fun playing like the party quirks and the um, something like fruit or Foursquare, where you're
Yeah.
kind of given a character or something to work with. But it's also fun just to have those that freedom to yourself, and the ask for is coming or is more shaping like the world or like the event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, love Goon River. I think, and then it happened is
Yeah.
also up there for me. I love that game. I like it because we've definitely had some rough ones and we've definitely had some really good ones. I
Yeah.
like that it's such a challenge to like tell a really good story, because even the rough ones, like there's so many great monologues
Mm-hmm.
within that. And then when we end and are like, no, we didn't really tell a story at all. At least you've had like great moments, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That I forgot about. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you have a third?
Hmm. I think like yeah, all the ones like Taxi, Dating Game, Party Quirks, they kind of live in like the same world to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love them so much. Like they're the reason I kind of fell in love with improv, like playing them in my high school drama class.
Yeah.
Um, I also love because it is always a shipwreck. I think it's only gone really well once. The Alien United Nations game is so
I don't think
funny
I've played that
because
one.
it has like it's just the most random rules for a game. It's like the rules are that you just there's a couple aliens. They come like everyone's playing their own alien who is a representative from their own alien
Right.
world. So
Right.
you come up with your alien name and the quirk for your planet,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just like debate about galactic issues.
Right.
But there's no hand holding in that game,
Yeah.
so it makes it really hard. But I love it. It's fun.
That would be interesting to see at a show. Because
Yeah,
that would just be like. I'm thinking
it
too
might
far
be
ahead.
it
Anyways.
might be a better show game than a workshop game, honestly. But
Yeah. Sorry. um. Anyways, like for number three for me. I think mine's in the same vein. I'm a big press conference fan. I
mm,
love a good like just because it's so there's so many good bits that can come out of press conference. Um yeah, press conference number 3. We have a
nice.
few more questions. So with Ty, this is kind of a big question. And I feel like this applies more for me than for you, but I'll have you answer it first. What do you hope to accomplish in the next year with improv?
Hmm. Yeah, I I'm just very excited to yeah, see what it's like to like just go as a community member,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously like I am happy to help out or volunteer my time wherever, whenever I can, and like the club means so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so excited to just um like yeah, just go and experience it and just have fun, and not have the pressure kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it'll be. I'm just really excited to see what the new exec team does, and just how they grow the club,
Yeah.
how they, make it just so much better, and all the new people like coming in.
I know. I'm
You
so
know, if
excited.
yeah, like I'm actually one of my old high school teachers. Um, she is getting me to come over. She's having like an event for her grade 12 drama class,
Mm.
and some of them are incoming Trent students, and they're drama nerds. So I just love every opportunity I get to be like person coming in to Trent, like welcome here. If you are interested at all, here's a community of people that are great, and you just have access to that now. So voila, here you go. Like do with it what
Have
you
at
will,
her.
and yeah, it's just I'm very very grateful for improv.
Yeah. Ooh, this year. Um, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, with the club and this is your question. I really hate to answer it this way. I'm really only looking at things a month or two ahead. Um, for those of you who know, this is going to be my second year as co-president, um, which I'm very, very honored to have. Um, yeah, we have a lot of big things coming. I can't really announce any of them yet because they're still unclear if they're going to happen. We have a lot of good teams coming for you. I know we haven't announced teams yet. We're just waiting on a few things. Um, but yeah, once the teams get announced, I think you are all going to be really stoked to audition for some of those. I know Ian is going to do an absolutely great job with workshops this year. I'm really excited to see where he takes those from Nick's hands. But I think overall, I'm just looking to grow the community more and just keep fostering who we have here. I think the great thing about this club is how accepting everybody is. I really enjoy how we take people of all skill levels. I know before I started at improv at Trent, before on Clubs and Groups Day, when Nick pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, you should audition," because I was kind of hanging around the booth trying to figure out what's going on, and Nick points at me and says audition, and I'm like, okay. Um, that was my first ever time doing auditions. Doing auditions was my first ever time doing improv, and look where I am now. So it's keeping this club being a space of acceptance and just good people with good vibes and stuff. Like just keeping that feeling while still getting more people kind of on that train. I'm hoping to do some more collaborations with other clubs. I know there's one club that I'm pretty good friends with almost all the execs. So here's hoping we can get some good collaborations with them. Um, you know who I, if you're listening, you know exactly who you are. Um,
Rowing.
yeah. No, you know who you are. But yeah, there's a lot of big things happening. Sorry, Ty, I can't really say any of it yet. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and well, let's have this year be a big old surprise. And then Ty's final question is kind of a big question, and that is what are the benefits of improv in everyday life?
Mm,
So that's a big one.
yeah. Um, I answered first last time. Do you want to
I guess I
take
can
this on?
I can take this one on a bit. For me, I think there's two answers. My first answer is now I know how to make my friends laugh easier. Um, like it's a very basic answer, but just after doing improv for 2 years, I now kind of know just how to build a character real easy around my friends. And there's no better feeling than making your friends laugh at a stupid joke you've made.
A good
Um,
riff sesh.
yeah, a good little riff session going. Um, even if that riff session is just me, even if it's just me making dumb jokes, if I get one laugh, that's all that matters. But this is kind of a more real answer to that. In it's so helpful in the workplace. At least for my workplaces. I work at a museum, and part of that is me interpreting history. And they like me to kind of act like I'm from the 1800s. And with kind of the improv skills I've learned how to just stay in this character I've built for myself at work and just keep going with it. So it's kind of helped there. And then I don't like it's such a big question. Like, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, do you have anything to kind of add on to that? It's a really good
Yeah,
question.
this is this is kind of like my spiel
Mm,
that I give every time I am nerding out about improv. But I think it just the act of improvising and um, whether it's like on stage, at workshops, even like with your friends, like I think when you are improvising in the most like kind of like in its most basic sense, all you're doing is just being comfortable with like who you are, like live. Like
yeah.
you, the more you're improvising, the more you're just kind of like trusting yourself to, say something or do
Mm-hmm.
something or um, just like act in any way. Um, it's this really like good way to just build your confidence in who you are. And I
100%.
think like I've seen it so many times. I've seen it with myself personally. Just people kind of um, not necessarily just through improv, but like I think improv is safe to say it's been like a very big part of that in a lot of people's lives. It's like a great way to just kind of grow that confidence and that comfortability with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of like one of the greatest superpowers you can have is just like being able to be charismatic or like confident and like getting people to like you like in the workplace, in an interview,
Mm-hmm.
in school. It can be so important and I think yeah, it's kind of like pretty vague almost, but I really do believe that improv, at least for me personally, has helped with like just my confidence, and
Yeah.
that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. It is a big question, and I feel like we could talk about that one question for at least an hour and a half. I'm pretty like same with most of these questions that we've gotten so far. It's like, yeah, thank you guys for asking great questions, but we have one final question to end the session off with, and this one isn't improv related. Now, I will say this person sent me like eight eight questions, I think. Not eight, like four or five, but I only picked one.
We stockpile them.
Yeah, we could, yeah. So this question does come from Ellie. So Ellie, be prepared. We might be using some of your questions in the future. Introduction for Ellie. If you guys really hate me doing introductions, I will stop doing them for the future episodes.
I love it.
I think it's fun. Everybody gets a little shout out. So Ellie, if you don't know Ellie, what are you doing? Ellie was our community rep last year, this past year. They were also a member of Funky Scene Society. Excuse me, that pizza's fighting back. Ellie was a member of Funky Scene Society as well as my team under Improvement. So they've been all around the club. If you have not seen their face before, what are you doing? Just kidding. We all moved to the club at different rates and stuff. Anyways, Ellie asks, what's a conspiracy you wholeheartedly believe in?
hmm Um, well, I guess not wholeheartedly, but I mean, we've all seen those pictures of the astronaut guy climbing whatever the rig or whatever. I think they I think the not even that the moon landing is fake. I think the moon is fake. I think that's I don't even know if space is real. I think maybe we're just like in a little fish tank and people are looking down at us and just like they're like I don't know, like the Earth or the moon is just like a little golf ball they have on
Yeah.
like a string on a fan that's swinging around.
Yeah, have you
Um,
seen that one picture of like the Earth is Velociraptor shaped?
I haven't. um, but yeah, I mean, um, get me on the moon, then I'll believe that that block of cheese is really up there.
Checkmate.
Yeah, take
Um,
that, Ellie.
I think mine, and this one isn't as fun, but just like the multiple universe stuff, where there's just like an infinite. I don't know if this is really even a conspiracy theory or not, or if it's just like I don't know, but I don't think I wholeheartedly believe it as more. I'm just like, this would be fun if it was true. This would be like just the infinite amount of universes where things are slightly different in each one.
Mhm.
I just think it's a fun one. Um, like I'm not big into conspiracies except for like I know for a fact that the Earth is dinosaur shaped, but
Mhm.
um, like that's basic knowledge at this point. So I wouldn't really even call that a conspiracy theory. Sorry. I I think I'm funny sometimes. No, yeah, it's not really
I'm trying to think.
yeah, cause like normal conspiracies like Bigfoot and stuff, and I'm sorry to the club that we have such close ties with. I just don't
What
really believe it. Um, yeah,
about aliens? Do you think
like
like all that's okay? This is kind of weird. So the Area 51 stuff, how there's been like all these I guess
the
this is a funny
raids.
question to like because you said the last questions could go on for like an hour and a half.
Oh, this
We
we
could
could.
deep dive and but it's always amazed me how since those like whenever they came out like those remember like the that guy was being questioned in that court about Area 51, and he was like,
Yeah,
just like fully being like, yeah, they have aliens there, like, yep, it's real, it's all real, it's like crazy,
yeah,
and I'm like, so either there's two options, either he's telling the truth, or because he's like some government employee, like whatever,
yeah,
and either he's telling the truth and like aliens are around, which is pretty cool, I guess, kind of scary.
yeah.
Um, I don't know, maybe maybe make some alien friends, have some aliens come up to improv soon.
Me and Glorp.
Yeah, me and Gibbous.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
or for some reason it's not real. Or like for some
Like,
reason it's
I mean,
what am I saying? Or it's not real and for some reason they thought they had to have this like big uh press conference thing and question this guy to lie about it.
he lost fantasy football, and that was the punishment.
I think
Just
so.
go what? Or
But I
maybe
don't know.
he's just an expert improviser, and it was just such good improv. But
Yeah.
yeah, with aliens, like, and I've kind of thought this since I was a kid. There is no way we are the only planet with life on it. Like,
Hmm.
statistically speaking, even if it's just like bacteria and like little amoebas and stuff, there's no way we're the only living things out there. Like
Hmm.
there has to be, especially with all the planets that are like human compatible out there. Like there has to be.
And that's kind of freaky because, like, with the amount of planets that are human compatible, and like,
What if there's just another
um,
human out there?
well, like, I guess we don't know how life can, like, we have our like the species on Earth and stuff to
Yeah.
reference, but we don't know all the ways that life can kind of take form.
No.
So maybe they will be like weird green guys. I almost think it would be freakier if aliens looked like pretty much exactly like us.
Yeah,
Like,
like
wouldn't that be kind of weird?
they were
They're just
just
like
like
human beings, pretty much, because the way in which life is made and like intelligent life is made, like requires the same sort of things. So they would evolve kind of similarly to us. Who knows?
it would like
But
they're humans just like 5% more green.
yeah, just a big green. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree though. I think they're knocking about somewhere out there.
for all we know, we just exposed ourselves to be total weirdos in front of the whole club, but
I think the alien thing is pretty. I think if you polled most people would
yeah,
think that
like
aliens are kicking around.
I feel like a few years ago though, like that wouldn't have been, but like now it's like they gotta be. Like
Hmm.
like realistically speaking, they gotta be. They gotta
Hmm.
be up there, up in the yeah. But I do hope they look like the little gray guys. I'll throw a picture up on screen now of the little gray guys. I really hope that's what they look like.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or if they were like, I don't know. If they're like 20 feet tall or something,
I'll
that would be
throw a
kind of
picture of
awesome.
a 20-foot tall alien right now.
That is the other thing too. It's like, um, I wonder what the likelihood is, or like where we fall, like human beings fall,
Yeah,
with like our level of
you could be
advancement
massive.
compared to like if you were to take all the species in the universe, like
Yeah.
where would we fall in the average? Are we like so much younger and stupider than the average? Are we like kind of all right? Um, it would be interesting to see.
All I'm saying is, when is real life Star Wars gonna happen? When
Yeah.
is. Look, if there was a Jabba the Hutt in front of me,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yay, Mr. Jabba. Oh my gosh. Get me near that Sarlacc pit, and
put me
I'll
put
just dive on in.
put me in the thing Leia was wearing in front of Jabba. Ooh, such a dumb fit. But Ellie, I hope that answers your question. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's kind of all I had planned for the podcast. So, Nick, do you any final thoughts before we do a goodbye?
Um, yeah, don't trust the moon when you look up at it.
Yep,
It's
it's just a big ball of cheese.
big ball of cheese. No, I will.
Fair
I
enough.
thank you, anyone who had the brain cells that were able to handle this kind of thing. But hopefully it was good.
Yep, hopefully it turns out. I'm hoping when I'm editing it tomorrow, it's not like, oh, I was mute the whole time, or you were like. I hope it turned out okay. Yeah, thank you for listening. Apologies for kind of how rough this is, but this is our first time doing this. Any feedback is welcome. Please just don't be too mean. I will cry. But yeah, well, this is going to be a very slow process to get it from being good to great. So bear with us on that journey. Again, things will get way better once we're in person and we're in the same room. The podcast will probably be different because we'll probably have somebody recording for us. So there'll be an extra body in the room. Um, we'll kind of make it
A
more,
10 foot tall alien.
yeah, named Glorp. He'll be,
Hmm.
yeah, I kind of want to start maybe watching videos from our shows, from our workshops, stupid videos I find online, kind of just doing stuff to keep you guys kind of entertained. Who knows? There will be like an improv thing now 7 days a week in the future. Podcast, two workshops. At this point, we're probably going to be having a show every other week. So, a lot of improv, a lot of stuff going on. Um, Donate to our Patreon, aka just send me cash in the mail.
Hmm.
You know my address, you know Nick's address. So send us money if you want more. If we receive less than $10 by the end of the week, the podcast is fully done. So pony up, and we
Mm.
will see you next week or in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.